Good evening, everybody, and apologies for the delay. I would like to give a very warm welcome to everybody who is present in the room and also those who are joining us online. So welcome to the Ring20 Family Conference 2022. Any moment now I'm going to hand over to Alison. She's going to give you a very quick update on Ring20, who we are, what we do. We are then going to ask those of you in the room and also those of you online for any ideas, suggestions, anything that you think you would like the charity to do for you. We are then going to ask one of our members here from North America to give us a very brief review of a survey that was carried out. Although not that many people responded, we'd still really like to hear from Junko. And then towards the end of the session, we're going to have a group of Ring20 champions, hosted by Charlene. Is she here?
She's making her way.
She's making her way. Yeah. Hopefully she'll be here by then. Just to get a view from the champions who've done a lot of work with Alison for Ring20 and just to hear what they've been involved with. And after that, we'll say goodbye to those of you who are joining us online and those...
Marco.
Oh yes, and Marco, yes, sorry, my apologies. We have a representative from Ring14 who's going to give us a brief view from the Ring14 charity, and then we'll stop for this evening. So I'm now going to hand over to Alison. Having done all the domestics, I think it's time now for Alison.
Good evening and welcome to everybody to our second ever Ring20 Families Conference. It's absolutely fantastic to see you all here. We have something like 17 Ring20 families joining us here today. I think some of them are a little bit stuck and still on their way, and we have quite a few joining us from online. So if anybody joining us online would like to put their name and where they're from in the chat, that would be really exciting to see where you're joining us from. So I'm just going to take a few minutes, and I will be brief because I hope many of you know about us as Ring20 the charity, who we are, what we do, because I think we want to do that to set the scene for you, for all of you, to say, what are we doing for you as families? And what could we be doing into the future to serve your needs as best we can? So, I'm joined this evening by two of my fellow trustees. We have another on the road who will join us fairly shortly. It's a little delayed in transport. So, the trustees, we have Lydia, our chair, Dale, our patient representative, patient advocate, and very much my right-hand man. We have Chris Sullivan, who's on his way, had a flat tyre, unfortunately, and Kim, our treasurer, who unfortunately couldn't be with us this evening. But that makes up our team of trustees currently. Now, we will hear shortly that Chris will be stepping down after a very long term of office. So we do have a bit of a vacancy, so we might be looking for some new recruits, but more of that later. So, the trustees, what the trustees do is look after the charity, look after the strategic viewpoint of the planning, the money. What are we doing for the benefit of you, the community, the people, the families we support? But actually, the day-to-day stuff that we do is not the work of the trustees. That actually falls under myself and a fantastic team of volunteers that give their time so readily to help and serve all of you. So we will get to meet some of them, but if you want to give a bit of a wave, we've got in the room with us here, we've got Caliph and Laura, who we'll get to meet a little bit later. And Dale, a bit like myself, is not only a trustee, but also a volunteer helping me with very much those operations. And then we have Belinda, who will be joining us on Sunday, for those of us that are here in person. She's just joined us in the last month or so, and she's going to be helping us with writing grant applications to see if we can get a little bit more funding to do some of the great work that we know we need to do for all of you. And then we're also supported by Ian, who looks after our accounts, together with our treasurer Kim, and Clara, who is acting in a consultative basis in research for us, which is really important. But what you might notice on this little chart in front of you, or above me here, is that we do have a couple of vacancies. So Laura does some great work helping me out on social media and comms, but there's so much that we do in that area that we could really do with somebody to support us in that capacity. We also have a paid internship opportunity that is still currently live, I think for about the next month or so. So it's 80 hours work. It's available to international students up to the age of, I think, about 24. So it's to write an impact assessment report for us as a charity. So if you know anybody or you'd be interested yourself in a bit of paid work, you could write, let me know and see whether you can help us out. And on top of that, there is always so much to be done. So somebody to help out with general operations and admin support would be absolutely fantastic. So some of the exciting stuff. Well, we're Ring20, we're based here in the UK, but we're supporting families all over the world. And I'm delighted to know that today here we have families from not only the UK, but from Belgium, the Netherlands, Slovenia. We also have families that have travelled from the USA and even Australia. It's amazing how far so many of you have come. And I know that we have people joining online and that have registered from as far afield as South Asia, from South Africa and South America. So we really have a global reach. And we're supporting, as you can see on this map, over 120 families worldwide. And they're kind of clustered around the English-speaking countries. But we are trying to reach out with others that are not native English speakers, because we know there are so many more families out there that we need to support. And we try and making a difference here by our new website having translation in 6 different European languages currently. It's auto-translation, but at least it provides some form of information and communication to many of the families out there. That's one of the key things that we deliver to all of you, is information via the website. We also deliver information, many of you, I hope all of you have received our comics, and we also have now information leaflets available for both families and healthcare professionals to give you an overview of Ring chromosome 20 syndrome. But this is really the crux of the part of the meeting that I just wanted to get to at this point, is the services that we provide. Because not only do we provide information, but as the name of our charity suggests, we are Ring20 research and support. So we do things in two different streams, if you like. In terms of promoting research, that's really about raising awareness of Ring chromosome 20, letting people know about the condition and that we need more research into that. We do this through exhibiting at different events and networking to try and find collaborators. And very much speaking, you'll see me, hear me out there speaking about Ring20, the charity, and Ring chromosome 20, the syndrome. We've set up an international research collaborative of various healthcare professionals with a particular interest in Ring chromosome 20 syndrome to see what we can do strategically to move the dial forwards. We've been raising funds for much needed research, and we'll hear more about that later, and we're looking out constantly to seek higher funding for research grants to see if we can do more in the research area. But I guess for you guys, you know, you are the families, and the key thing that we do is to try to support all of you. So we do that by welcoming new families, we offer one-to-one support chats, we have our Facebook forum, which I know many of you use to connect with each other and share experiences. We have Rare Connect with, I think it's translation in about 11 different languages, not so well used, but has certain potential for families, non-native English-speaking families, to connect. Many of you have joined our coffee and chat sessions that we started in the last couple of years during the pandemic, and then last year the Step Into the Ring group that's very much run by Caliph and Dale here, for those people, those individuals, the young adults with Ring20 to connect. We've mentioned about the map and the information, and of course we're here tonight at our Families Conference. So I just want to hand over for a moment just to Junko, just to say a few words about the survey that was put out there. And then we're going to ask all of you in the room and those of you online what you would like from Ring20 in the future. Are those services that I've just mentioned here, so I'd like you to be thinking about this, the services that you want, that you need, that help you? What do you really like? What do you want more of? Is there anything that you don't really use and we could stop doing or scale down? And is there anything new that you think it'd be really great if Ring20 could do that? We'd like to know from you, strategically as a board, we will take on board everybody's comments and ideas and suggestions, and when we go through with our strategic planning for the next year and beyond, we'll start to think about how we shape Ring20, the charity, going forwards into the future, because we need to be meeting your needs. So for those of you in the chat, if you have any ideas, please pop your ideas in the chat, because we'll keep a record of that and look at that throughout the meeting and beyond. And for those of you in the room, we're going to get you to stand up for 5 or 10 minutes and just write stuff on the board before we move on to the next part. So I'm just going to hand over to Junko for a few words.